Well, guys, it looks like we might be getting a little World Cup action a day sooner than we expected. Qatar is wanting to move their opening game a day ahead rather than on November 21st, looking to play it on now November 20th. And we will dive right into some reasonings as to why, some history, and other things as well. Guys, it's Matty Ice back again with you. Thanks so much for joining us on Football with Flags. Again, today it's a pretty simple topic. Qatar wanting to move their opening game up a day to start the World Cup a day sooner, which, hey, an extra day of World Cup competition, I'm all for it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it as to why, they're wanting to play a game a day sooner. Right now, this schedule has 4 games on November 21st, with actually Senegal and Netherlands kicking the first game off, with Qatar, the hosts, their game following just 3 hours later. And then we've got both of the opening games in Group B later on that day as well. So 4 games are pegged for the 21st. But again, if Qatar is able to get this approved and pushed up, then we'll have a game on the 20th, and then 3 games move to the 21st. Moving on with that, why is it so important to reschedule that game? Well, I believe for Qatar, they are wanting to do something similar that we've seen in a trend happen since 2006, where the hosts have had really their own day to kind of celebrate, bring in the opening ceremonies, and just enjoy hosting, the greatest competition in the world. And I think for Qatar, they're kind of wanting to continue that trend and not have a day filled with other Group A and Group B games as well, and really just a day of their own to be able to compete in their opening game, celebrate just the fact that they have, gotten to this point and accomplished this moment, and really just be able to celebrate themselves before, the rest of the competition moves forward with all the other games that are scheduled in the group stage and then beyond. We've seen the hosts open this competition since 2006. Germany were the first to do it at the time. And, it's gone quite well for the hosts so far in terms of how well they've been able to play in that opening game on a day of their own. And we'll go ahead and show you some history as to why the previous hosts since 06. We saw Germany defeat Costa Rica 4-2. That was a pretty interesting game, I believe. Germany got the scoring off pretty early, but then Costa Rica tied it not long after and held with the Germans for a decent amount of time. But then, of course, the European powerhouse side pulled away in the second half. The only draw that we've seen up to this point is South Africa. Sipiwe Shabalala, lifted the hearts of almost every African, I'm sure, with that banger that he had against Mexico in 2010 to kick off the 2010 World Cup. Mexico did rally and come back and score to equalize that game and keep it at a 1-1 draw. But from that point on, we've seen Brazil be able to take down Croatia in 2014 with Neymar and Oscar adding to those goals as well. And then Russia, of course, emphatically just demolishing Saudi Arabia in 2018 with a 5-0 victory that kind of started off a little bit slow, but once the goals came in, they just started pouring in. And Saudi Arabia, unfortunately, could just not do anything about it. So in terms of Qatar, with them wanting to try and push this game up, I really don't blame them. Obviously, for the reasons being, I'm sure they, again, just want to celebrate having a day to themselves for the fact that they've gotten to this point and are hosting the competition, being, probably one of the most historic moments and memories that this country will ever have. But as well, in terms of just the competition side of it, it looks pretty good. I mean, when you look at, the hosts since 06 who have had the day to themselves, Germany, Brazil, and Russia have all been able to take 3 points away from it, which has been great. And South Africa still put on an excellent performance and took away a 1-1 draw. Now, unfortunately, South Africa at the time were not able to make it out of the group, but they did defeat France in their final group stage game, which, again, remember, France were the defending finalists from 2006 when they lost to Italy. So that was an incredibly impressive win, despite France and all the turmoil that camp had pretty much the entire competition. But again, in terms of Qatar, it looks really good. The fact that we've had 3 of the 4 hosts since this began be able to pull off some really good victories, and all of those teams as well, besides South Africa, unfortunately, were able to make it out of the group. But we will have to wait and see. Again, it's not totally confirmed yet. That's why we put the asterisk next to the date. But again, Qatar kicks the tournament off with Ecuador, and then they have Senegal, and then to finish up with Netherlands to end the group stage there on the 29th. For me, I feel like, we've talked about this in videos before, but I think that Ecuador is their best chance to get a win. So for them, I think it's important the fact that, they're getting Ecuador in that first game, and especially if they do get their own day on the 20th to play, it could be an even more memorable and special day if they are able to upset the South Americans and take away 3 points, or even get a draw out of that game as well. I think would be huge for them in terms of their confidence moving forward. Again, whether or not they're able to actually make it out of the group is still obviously very uncertain. But again, that's why we went ahead and put an asterisk next to the 21st. And another side note, like we said before, the fact that Senegal and Netherlands do play first that day, I think their kickoff time is 3 hours ahead of Qatar. It's kind of strange. I remember that came out and kind of thinking, like, why in the world is Senegal and Netherlands playing this game first 3 hours ahead? Wasn't really sure as to why that was happening. And I'm not sure what has gone down in this whole process from the time that we had the draw back in April to this point for them now, all of a sudden, with 103 days left before the competition. Now suddenly there's chatter and rumors of them wanting to reschedule this opening game. I figured that would have been something that would have been switched or already figured out way ahead in advance. But nevertheless, again, I think they'll be able to get it done in terms of whether guys are able to get out of their club camps a bit sooner or anything like that. I don't believe anything like that will change. Again, it's really just the first game looking to be put ahead 24 hours from its original start time. And, again, like I said, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But it looks like I would think Qatar would be able to pull that off with the approval from FIFA. And again, I think them being able to play Ecuador in that first game could be huge for them in terms of being able to try and get a great result and have just, again, one of the most memorable days in their country's history. But with that being said, guys, thanks again so much for joining us here on Football with Flags. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button on our channel. We've got plenty more content coming out for you. And again, as always, thank you all so much for joining us, even on these short little trips like this, talking about just a few little points here and there. But again, so excited for this World Cup to start here in just over 100 days. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you guys very shortly with more videos to come. Have a great day.